A very good morning to Dr. Siti Norashikin binti Abdul Hamid. My name is Tan Graptong and not metric 262700. I would like to introduce of management scholar, which is John Kotter. John P. Kotter is a best-selling author, award-winning business and management tool leader, business entrepreneur, and the Konosuke Matsushita Professor of Leadership. Emeritus at Harvard Business School, Kotter has received numerous awards for his thought leadership in his field from Harvard Business Review, Bloomberg Business Week, and his idea, book, and company. Kotter helps people lead organizations in an era of increasingly rapid change. John P. Kotter is internationally known and widely regarded as the foremost speaker on the topic of leadership and change. He is the premier voice on how the best organizations actually achieve successful transformation. Kotter's vast experience and knowledge on successful change and leadership has been proven time and again. Most recently, Kotter was involved in the creation and co-founding of Kotter International, a leadership organization that helped global 5,000 company leaders to develop the practical skill and implementation methodologies required to lead change in a complex, large-scale business environment. The business consultancy firm applied Kotter's research on leadership, strategy executions, transformations, and any form of large-scale change.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nofadilah binti Nordin 263833. So I will explain about the definition of management theory for John Kotter. So John Kotter have used change management theory. What the meaning change management theory is the process of renewing the direction, structure, and resources of an organization to meet the ever-changing needs of external and internal customers. The meaning is every organization needs to make a change where the change can benefit the organization as well as be able to compete with business. In an increasingly advanced era, it further adds more confidence to the organization to change because the current technology greatly affects the organization to keep pace with technology. In addition, there are also employees who consider that change is a negative thing because employees are already comfortable with the existing situation. This is why they are afraid of change. However, John Kotter has stated that organizations need a process to change in order to be a successful organization. In change management, John Kotter has created a model known as the 8-step change model that is very suitable to be practiced by organizations that want to make change. The first step is to create a sense of urgency. Creating a sense of urgency is creating a sense of urgency in which it is urgent for the organization to make changes. Leaders need to make the organization aware that it needs to make a difference by identifying potential threats and being willing to make changes to face them and anticipate the opportunity that will arise. According to John Kotter, this is step preparation and 70% of the organization management need to be involved in change in order to improve the effectiveness of change. Next is to form a strong coalition. After creating a sense of urgency, leaders must convince other workers to work together to make changes. Therefore, leaders should develop strong coalition or leadership so that they can help leaders direct others to make changes. The coalition developed must consist of a variety of skills, experience, knowledge, and work units to maximize its effectiveness. In addition, the third step is to create a vision of change. Changes can be complicated to understand by members of the organization who are in a lower position. However, to make a change, a vision must be created so that it can be understood by members of the organization. The vision must encompass all the goals of change, and the vision can be an inspiration so that the desired result can be achieved. Communicating a vision of change is the fourth step in John Kotter's step change model. Once the vision has been created, the vision should be disseminated to the entire organization to get support from all members of the organization. The vision of change must be expressed at all times, not only at meetings. To ensure effective change in organization, leaders and team need to find the vision within the organization, regardless of the operation or the business of the company. It must return to the vision. The next is to remove all barriers faced by the organization. At this point, resistance to change will take place. Therefore, leaders must provide the best opportunity by taking the initiative to remove existing barriers and adopt new ideas. To remove barriers, leaders need to train employees by providing the right skill and synchronize staff information and processes with vision. Change takes a very long process to reach the true level of change. This will happen when employees begin to feel discouraged because there has been no success from all the changes that have been made. Therefore, to cultivate that sense of passion, organizations need to create success targets for the short term. Short-term goals are also a useful tool to motivate and as a guide to our change activities. After successfully achieving short-term success target, John Kotter has stated that organizations need to sustain and strengthen such change even if a change has been successfully achieved. Organizations need to set goals and analyze what can be done better for continuous improvement. The last step is to consolidate change into organizational culture. Change needs to be part of the content of the organization so that change can have a lasting benefit for everyone. Talking about progress on available opportunity and sharing stories about the success of vision change is to ensure that culture change can be sustained.
Okay, so the application of John Kotter management theory is the Kotter X steps model. So, change is the role of business. The global business environment is changing continuously and organizations need to respond quick to retain the market positions. So, Kotter has provided a smart model to implement and sustain change that can be used by business managers and leaders to bring change efficiently and effectively. It contains X steps which can be followed to implement to the process of change successfully. So below is an explanation of Kotter's X step model with an example of its applications to business. So step 1, suppose Sam owns a business that employs 300 people. For the last 3 months, he has been losing sales to his competitor. He does some research to find out the reason. His research shows that the competitors are investing in technology which has enabled them to provide better service, and therefore they are gaining fast against his business. So in the step 2, Sam need to find out the change advocates and change leader inside the organization to lead the process and to invite participants of workers at all levels. In this regard, it is not essential that Sam select only from the top or middle level. Sam can select from his frontline employees through who he thinks have the necessary expertise to convince others. So in the step 3, get the vision right. A vision is essential for people to understand what outcome the change process is trying to achieve. So, Sam must focus on his strategy and organizational value to create the organizational vision for change. So, in the step 4, communicate for buy-in. This is because a good communication is the key to success change. So, Sam has plans automations and other kinds of technological updates in his organization. Many people who do not have the technology skill will be worried. So, communications help in such a situations. Sam and his change leadership team must talk to people to understand their individual's concern and how they feel the change will affect them. So, in the step 5, by the time the above steps are completed, Sam and team must have persuade people to participate. There will definitely be resistance, part of which can be addressed through communication. Some people will not agree until they have seen proven results. However, Sam must continue. This can be harder even after the staff has become ready to get involved. So in the step 6, now things has been set in motion, but there is a need to gather more speed. So Sam wants that the benefits are visible to his staff so that they focus on change with double enthusiasm and motivation. He must divide his long-term goal into short-term one. So next one in step 6, however, short-term wins do not signify full success. So at every step, Sam and team must analyze the result to see how the short-term goals are aiding to the long-term goal. They must analyze the outcome to know what things can be improved to make the plan successful and what things are already running right. So in the last step, don't let gut change stick. Company leader must ensure that the organizational values support the change. The organizational culture must also rhyme with the change being made. Sam and team must focus on establishing a culture that fosters innovation. They must ensure that technology is linked to the organizational values and that people adopt these values apart from the existing staff. This value must be communicated to the new hires too. If technological advancement and innovation are made a part of the culture, then it will create an environment that will sustain the change Sam and team have brought.
Wan Nur Mughni binti Wan Shamsuddin, my metric number 263946. So today I would like to discuss about advantage of John Kotter change management. The first one is a simple step-by-step model to follow. The model provides you with easy guideline to follow throughout every step of the change process. This checklist format also encourages you to stay focused and on task. The second one is emphasize on employee involvement and acceptance. Kotter's model emphasizes the importance of support from every level of employment. It also helps prepare employees for change rather than surprising them within. Okay, overall, asking for their feedback helps them feel as though they are part of the process. And the last point for advantage, importance of preparation. The change model spend a lot of time preparing for the change, which can increase the possibility for its success. For example, when it asks you to consider potential obstacles, this helps you handle them as soon as possible rather than when it's too late in the process. So for cons of John Kotter change management, it's too singularly focused on urgency, which is lack of details. Okay, the model lacking when it comes to the details of how to accomplish the 8 steps that are laid out. It's great when it comes to the focus on motivations and urgencies, but Kotter's 8-step model is not very detailed when it comes to the specific of what to do. For example, other change model will discuss things like a change impact assessment and change readiness assessment as a way to prepare appropriately for the change. Where the Kotter change management method sees forcing the change forward with urgency as the key and link all the dots that take you from start to finish. And the second one is the step can seem out of order. The step can seem out of order and without an overarching themes other than urgencies. For example, when we examine the stage in the Kotter change management theory, step 3 is to create a vision and plan. It seems like it needs to be first because that vision is needed to create the urgencies note in step 1. This makes John Kotter leading change steps seems more like tips on what to do rather than a cohesive roadmap. Okay, the third one is it's too top heavy, not enough emphasis on employee. We found several review of Kotter's change management theory that mention his model seems too top heavy, meaning it a top-down approach that doesn't focus enough on the people experiencing the change and how it's going to benefit them personally. The Kotter change management model is more about forcing change down from the top and how the change is going to benefit the organization as a whole. Kotter's 8-step model has agencies and removing barriers to motivations as its core component instead of focusing on employee.
In conclusion, John Kotter's theory worked very well for organizations that want to make changes to change in a more successful direction and want to improve company performance. Hence, the organization needs a leader who always has clear vision so that his employees are also clear about what they are making changes in the organization. This is because change is not an easy thing for a person, because with change it will make a person afraid of losing something. Here it is clear and obvious that leaders need to motivate and inspire them that such changes will bring success to the organization and to the employee as well. However, the model of change devised by John Kotter have made it clear that each of the stated steps has specific reason why the step need to be preceded. The 8 steps of the change model are very suitable to be applied in organization because there are several organizations that have been successful in making changes after applying the change model.